Brian, we took a lot of hard hits on this episode. I think love took a real hit, coolness took a real hit. I don't know about Michelle. I think she's gonna have to go back and check out some more recent seasons for what real love looks like. Like she's just gonna have to look to someone like Katie and Blake.
Oh, you didn't hear?
Oh, they set a date.
No, no, no. They broke up, bro. You didn't know this?
Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian. What's going on, my dude?
All right, I'm a little under the weather, people. So if I sound weird, I'm sorry.
Brian actually was in a great bill of health until the rose ceremony. We will get to that. For those of you who watched our episode 1 coverage, you may have an idea of why Brian may be a little under the weather. We appreciate everyone who's been watching so far. Our Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, our challenge coverage, our Survivor coverage. Please like and subscribe so you catch everything. We do everything and anything reality television. Before we dive into week 2 here of the Bachelorette season 18, we do want to start with a little breaking news. Monday, we did get the news that our season 17 Bachelorette, Katie Thurston, and the winner, Blake Moynes, are kaputs. They are done. They did a joint release here on Instagram, so I'll pop it up here for you. It's with mutual love and respect. We've decided to go our separate ways. We are so grateful for the moments we shared together and the entire journey that has unfolded this year, but we ultimately have concluded that we are not compatible as life partners, and it is in the most caring choice for both of us to move forward independently. We ask for kindness and privacy as we both navigate this transition. Both of us will forever want what's best for one another and ask you to please support us in our decision. Yeah, Brian, your first reaction.
I mean, didn't we saw this coming?
We told you so, people on the Reality Guys, but
We weren't buying this relationship.
no, we covered this in season 1 of the Reality Guys, and for people that saw, there were a lot of really good contestants that made it down to our final 5 or 6. And it's like she got to the 4th quarter and just fumbled the ball completely. I mean,
Yeah.
Andrew S.
Yeah, I mean, justice for Andrew S is like what our chat was last night, pretty much.
Michael, like he left, it seemed like he made sense. And even Greg, now listen, I'm not saying Greg was the bill of maturity and stuff, but he kind of was calling some behaviors that come into play. And Kristen made a great point. They need to stop picking people that win. And I'm sorry for our Canadian people, but like stop picking winners from Canada right now where they can't come to the US and do anything. Their relationships are like doomed.
Right. Like you gotta look at this more like with geography and things like that on this when they're on the show. I don't understand why. I mean, look what's happening today. Like they're worried about that was one of the main topics today. Like the dudes from Indianapolis, like, hey, that relationship makes sense.
Yeah, tough. Like we know you're threatened. Trust me, we'll get to those guys. The only person I think won't let this happen is G.I. Joe. No. G.I. Joe is from America. Serena P is from Toronto, but there's no way he's letting that. They could have used a little G.I. Joe today to help straighten out the guys that were starting to get a little fussy. They could have used a little Joe in their life.
Yeah, he just comes down from like a cord from the ceiling, right in between Jamie and Michelle to break it up.
This being week 2 is where we got the first set of dates. So we did have 2 group dates and a one-on-one date. The one-on-one date developed a character that turned out to be pretty pivotal in the ending of this episode. But just to kick it off at the start, our boy Rick still has eyeliner on.
Dude, I don't know. He's a weird guy to me.
He's a weird dude. The first set of dates, the date card is going to be Bran, Romeo, Rick, PJ, Will, Olu, Casey, Daniel, LT, and Peter. Michelle says that she's bringing 3 of her friends to kind of check the guys out and get their approval. And to Brian's favorite topic, they're a bunch of children.
I always say, like, every time we watch a show, man, this is the worst date I've seen. This is one of the worst dates I've seen on these shows. It's awful. How do you learn anything about these guys and you want to marry them?
Just so everyone knows we're thorough, we're talking about Mia, Riley, and Kennedy. I think was Kennedy the ginger, or was Riley the ginger?
I don't even know, and I don't even.
One of them was a ginger, and I mean like a super ginger. God bless if you are, but man, they really picked the kids. Like it was just like, and they were sassy.
Yeah, they were definitely actors.
Oh my, they were like telling them that this sucked and that they were dumb and they were making fun of them. I was like, no real fifth grader is doing this right now.
And they don't have that level of confidence to yell at grown men like that.
They did multiplication problems, Bri. They played musical chairs. They did things like 2 negatives equal a positive. Oh, on the multiplication problem, by the way, I did it and I got it right. So there.
Did you use the new math or old math?
No, I used old math. Old math.
You mean the right way?
Yeah, like I lined it up and I did the first number and then I did the second number and I added it up. Yeah, exactly. You did the 0, the second one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Makes too much sense. We got to change it.
Peter was a big made topic too during this episode, man. This guy was all over the place, including to start 2 things on this date. One, he took musical chairs way too seriously.
Yeah.
But he couldn't beat PJ.
No, and
not smooth PJ. He knows how to play musical chairs with honor.
Wasn't enough to get a rose, apparently.
Too soon, Brian. Too soon.
That if you want.
Oh no, I'm not gonna bleep it. I'm just being like, I'm still not over it. I wanted to wait till later in the episode so we didn't have to get. PJ didn't get a rose, guys.
Yeah.
PJ's out. Why?
Oh no, man. Dude, she kept some real losers.
That's a real man, dude. Yo, PJ, hashtag PJ for paradise.
I think he's too cool for paradise, to be honest with you. I think he just needs his own show.
PJ would go to paradise, and within the first week and a half, he would have Wells's job. He'd be back behind the bar. Wells would be out.
They should do like a show with him and Danny, who are both firefighters, and like a firefighter like love show.
Ooh, yeah, kind of like a double shot of love, but with firefighters.
And they do like firefighter things, like
firefighter challenges, like send them into burning apartment buildings and stuff. Yeah,
like they have to go down a pole, things like that.
It's like Tough Enough, except for firefighters.
Yeah, right. That's what they should do.
That could be the beginning of the murder mystery show.
Yeah, like you do it on a little spin-off and then you bring it into like the bigger platforms.
There's a crossover event eventually.
Yeah, right.
The whole in one big cinematic universe.
Is that like it's like the Chicago PD, like
Chicago Med. I like that. Also, I thought this was funny when they were doing you had to give your answers on the board. Everyone was starting to get sick of Peter. So when they talked about spell narcissist, Will wrote Peter. I thought everyone found it was kind of funny. Even Michelle thought it was clever and funny. Not Peter.
Yeah, he's sensitive, man.
Peter, the pizzeria owner. Did you hear that? Do you know that he owns a pizzeria?
Yeah, I mean, he was the pizza guy.
Yeah, no, I'm being sarcastic. He must have told fucking 500 people already in 2 episodes that he owns a pizzeria. We get it, bro. It's great. Cool. You swing pizza. And like Will said, what else do you have to offer her except a slice?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was the line of the season so far. Because at the end of the day, dude, just shut up. But he was going on. I mean, I have a couple bullet points of him just not shutting up about being a narcissist. Like, who cares? Next part of that first date was when they go get to hang out, the after party. I'm not a Brandon fan.
No.
How creepy was he when he was staring her out? And she was obviously waiting for him to make a move, and he just kept going like this. And he was like,
I was getting the impression she didn't want to kiss him.
I thought, dude,
I couldn't read it. I couldn't read the situation.
Can't read her at all. She's giving everyone equal opportunity.
Yeah.
I really wrote, why does she like it?
There's one kiss later that was like blowing my mind. Hopefully you have it written down. If you don't, I have it stored up here.
So obviously I talked about Peter and Will having their confrontation. What else do you have to offer but a slice, bro? There's a date card that comes. It's going to be for the first one-on-one date, which goes to Jamie.
Great guy.
We thought Jamie was going to be a good guy. We thought that, he had a pretty good idea of who he is. He's a CEO. We thought in our preview special that he could maybe almost be too serious for himself. And then that reared its ugly head really quick. He instantly started to flex about himself and started putting it like, well, actually, I got to judge her too. It ain't just her picking me. It's me picking her. That's a huge red flag tweet right there.
Yeah, it's funny because I was about to tweet like, oh, I think Jamie might be too good for the show. I'm so glad I never tweeted that. I would have deleted it.
Cold takes.
Yeah.
Before that, we do get to see a couple more of the interactions. Our boy eyeliner Rick is the most corny because he wrote her an ad lib.
Yeah.
So the cornball stuff, I just can't. And she seemed into it. I guess she's a teacher. She likes ad libs.
Yeah.
Do they even do ad libs in school anymore? I feel like when we were in school in the 90s, like ad libs were on the way out.
Yeah. Like you did Mad Libs and you just filled it with curse words.
Yeah, literally. I'm calling them ad libs. That shows how many Mad Libs I did.
Right. So, I mean, stupid.
The guys, especially Casey, do not like Peter at all. Michelle didn't think that Will's joke was a big deal, told Peter he has to find his center and to calm down. But then Peter calls Will in his interview a petty bitch.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
The first impression rose from that group date goes to Brandon. Anything about that first date before I move on?
Not really, man. It was kind of anticlimactic. Like, I didn't think the combos were that cool. Like, they didn't do a lot of like the guys. They only really focused on like 3 or 4 dudes.
I totally agree. The edit is interesting this episode.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the dudes.
One-on-one date, Jamie and Michelle go to Joshua Tree National Park. I thought they were going to go to trip some shrooms, but instead they go rock climbing. Fine, I guess. It's not a terrible date. It's kind of cool park. But then they get to the top and there's a bunch of champagne and alcohol waiting for them. It's just don't really make sense. Where's the water bottles?
How do they get down?
How do they get down easier now that they're all boozed up? Yeah. How about giving the props to the cameraman who's also climbing up with them? No love for the cameraman.
You think somebody was just on a pulley, like pulling him up, like a bunch of people just pulling him. It wasn't even like just fully camera mode.
I wanted to think that they have some like elite cameraman they're paying this crazy money to that could do that and the rock climbing at the same time.
Just no harness.
Yeah, like free solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jamie talks about his tough upbringing. Obviously, you never love hearing that. So you kind of understand the guy's motivation a little bit and kind of the chip he seems to carry on his shoulder, which we'll see continuing on in this episode. Michelle gives him a rose and they kiss.
Yeah.
So
she kissed a lot of people today.
She kissed a lot of people in this episode. She was feeling a lot of people.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, we don't care. We're just saying she seemed to be feeling a lot of people, which is good. We're glad. Yes. It seems like she likes more of the people than Katie did last season.
Yes.
Okay. One of our favorite things returned. The personal concerts. No. I don't know how many times we need to repeat this. They're corny. They're terrible. My fiance was with me when we were watching. I said, babe, in any way would this be something you would be into ever? And she's like, it's so cringy. They're just looking at you the whole time. There's just like 8 people in the band and the 2 of you in a room. Like, it's like, what are you, like a prince? Like,
so stupid.
The president goes places and dances. There's more people.
Right. Like, how did the producers still let some of this stuff fly?
It's like you said in our text, there are just so many rinse and repeat things these seasons that, again, it's like that in a lot of shows, but some variation. Like we said on the Paradise reviews, we didn't mind Paradise Prom because at least there's like 12 of them there. It's not as weird. Right. Like that's a little better. But how many more of those are we getting this season? At least one more.
Five or six.
5 or 6. Oh,
Think
dude,
more?
please. They need to change the show title if there's more. If there's 5 or 6 fucking solo
They do it
content.
on like almost every
I'm so sick of
one-on-one.
it. Oh my god.
I'm dumb. It's never even music I want to listen to.
Oh, yeah, and also I just said these scenes drag on.
Oh, dude, like cut it, dude.
Oh my god, they're so long. Just it's fine. We get it. It's cool for them. Whatever they're enjoying. That was like a 3 or 4 minute scene. It was like half of that segment was just that dance. Crazy sauce.
Yeah, I agree.
Next date goes right into her other stereotype of that they put out all season for her because she's a basketball player. So I didn't list the guys. It's everybody else who's left. There's 2 WNBA players. We've got our first basketball pun looking for a teammate for life. We got some interesting info about Joe. Joe was Mr. Minnesota, like Mr. Minnesota basketball, Mr. Basketball Minnesota. That's pretty dope. I mean, so he was legit.
He's good.
I don't look into him. I'm curious. Like I wonder if he did any like semi-pro or like if he blew his knee out or something, or you know what I mean. If he's like a Gordon, is Joe like the Gordon Bombay of Minnesota basketball?
Yeah, like was he just on the cusp? Like was he like a 70 or a 67 or level, or was he like could make it to college or the pros?
Is he an AHL hopeful?
Yeah.
Did he find some hard luck? Like I said, what happened? Is he now going to have a youth basketball team of downtrodden children that he's going to rise from mediocrity and bring to the district title?
Right.
I don't know. I may have also ripped off another franchise, just maybe, just a little bit. This is good. The 5-on-5 game. Red was smashing them 25-8, and then Joe, the silent assassin, brings it to a final score of 29-28.
Yeah,
pretty good.
That blue team was pretty good. They had some ballers on it.
They had the red team had freaking what's his name on it, Pardeep on it.
Yeah, when he threw up that one shot, I was like, "Good God!"
It went like almost over the backboard.
Oh, it was awful.
So,
like, why do they even like? That's embarrassing for him.
Well, I think that's exactly the point.
No, but like, why? What? He seems like he's gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
Dude, like, why do you gotta throw him under the bus like that? Like, he wasn't even on the show, and the only thing you're gonna show him is him taking one of the worst shots ever.
They did him dirty, man. It's a dirty edit. Like I said, there were some interesting edits on this episode.
Yeah.
Joe and Michelle obviously have a good connection. We know that from before. She had interest in him years prior. They both have the basketball connections. We'll see where this goes. The guys, though, and I'm starting to get excited because here comes the thing, the inevitability. The guys are starting to circle it on Joe. Namely, Jamie. He's officially the first witch hunt target. What I did love and what we've seen every season, like Andrew West was like this last season. Nate's not phased.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, guys, who cares? Leave it alone. Who the hell cares? However, I know, Bachelor Nation knows that if somebody has a problem, they're not going to let it go. And they're just going to run and bring it to the main contestant. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. We will get to that in 1 second. We're at the cocktail party. Oh, just before I skip that, Joe does receive the group date rose, though, from that group date with the basketball. His team lost. He got the MVP. He's able to go on the date with the winners. Then they talk more. He gets the rose. Nothing really crazy. Anything else, Brian, before we get to cocktail party?
PJ looked good.
Smooth PJ. All right, so the cocktail party. Another really, really, really dumb one. The apple taste test. This might have been the worst one so far for me. Honestly, poor Rodney never imagined that wearing the apple, doing the little teacher pun, that he was going to become Mr. Apples. Yeah. He's like, bro, I've had some apples. I can't taste test an apple. Could you taste test apples?
The only thing I could taste test was maybe a Granny Smith. That's it. It's the only one you can, unless you're a freak.
It's like, all right, enough. Leave him alone with the apples. She does give him the kiss afterwards and stuff like that, but Enough is enough. Let the apples go for poor Rodney. It's enough.
I
It's
agree.
enough. The guys are starting to suss out Joe. Like I said, Jamie really wants to know. And this is where you start to see where Jamie's starting to make things up. Jamie starts to say to the guys, yeah, I'm starting to hear blah, 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 including a story about him with a friend talking and that he spotted Michelle at a bar and Michelle had just left and she had been on a date with another guy. He's hearing that they knew each other before. So the guys are like, oh, who are you hearing that from? Or are you just thinking that? And that's in that very small group. So he shuts it down real quick. He's like, no, I need to go talk to Michelle. He goes to Michelle. I'm like, all right, he's going to be like, hey, I heard these things. I want to know, did you meet this guy before? Do you know him before? Nope. This snake, dude, this Slytherin goes in and tells Michelle that all the other guys are talking about this and that he's hearing this and that he wanted to come to her to clear the air and find out because he's hearing these things. Not that he's telling everyone these things, that he's hearing them. I mean, Twitter agreed with us, Bri. Like Twitter high was like, when we put that out there, was like, bing, 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 bing. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Your thoughts on that in general and just this guy's move? He's this year's Carl, I guess.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was just gonna say. Like somebody tweeted a picture like of like Carl and Jamie next to that. It's very funny. But I mean, it's just like what I texted you. Like it seems exactly the same path that we're going. Like we have a good first episode, and then we're getting to the next. We're kind of starting to like settle in with these guys, and then like somebody puts the main person on blast, and it's just like we don't get our cocktail party, and it sucks. We didn't get to see a lot of more. Like again, like I don't know, Bill. We don't know anybody.
No, I mean, she broke the Matt James rule 2 weeks in.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, she should know better. She was on Matt James this season,
right?
And I feel bad. I feel like she kind of got prodded into the cancellation. However, it's still a reality, guys. Bachelor franchise rule violation on Michelle. Like I feel bad. I did not think she'd get one this early. It's a demerit of sorts.
Detention.
It is.
Detention.
I feel bad. I did not think we would be putting teacher in detention so soon. I'm not happy about it. I don't want to call her parents. I really don't.
No.
She's a great student, great teacher.
One more, she's suspended.
It's crazy how quick things turn. Yeah. This is a great line from Michelle. So she goes to Tayshia. I don't know who to trust. Obviously, none of them. You just met them.
Right, exactly.
Michelle comes clean to the crew and the crowd. Hey, I heard everyone's having these conversations. I did DM Joe a few years ago. He never answered me after 2 messages. So there's really nothing to know. Does anyone want to know anything?
Right.
And then when no one says anything, she gets pissed off. She's like, seriously, I'm hearing that you're all talking about this. Like you have nothing to say. Storms off. And that's how we get the canceled cocktail party. Man, this dude really screwed these guys royally.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one was like, who said it? Like if somebody, that could have been good TV right there.
Well, they did. No, they questioned it at the end. The guys were like, no, well, obviously someone talked to her. Who said it? Like, what happened? And he just went, like I said, he Homer Simpson gift. He went.
No, but I'm saying like when she was like, hey.
Oh, yeah. With her present, they should have done it. You're right. With her presence, when you do that.
She would have said like, oh, I heard it from Jamie, which I think she would. She seems to be pretty straightforward.
You're right. That would have been a more natural conversation, which makes me feel like the producers were involved.
Yeah.
Don't let that conversation go to the natural next evolution of them saying it in front of her. They may have ended the conversation, cut. Right. Yeah. Like, shut up. Everyone chill. Nope. We're not, this isn't important yet. Like, you know what I mean? And we need to save this for later when it's going to be more heartbreaking for her. I mean, that's probably honestly the deal. So there's the questions. Michelle cancels cocktail party. Same thing. Matt James rule. Here we go, Bri. The rose ceremony.
What do you want to talk about?
We've already kind of addressed it, but let's start with the positives here. The following men received roses. Nate the Great, Rodney, Martin, Eyeliner Ricky, Leroy, Spencer, Casey, Chris G, Malik, Olu, Chris S, Will, Romeo, LT, and Pizzeria Peter.
Like LT and Peter.
Like how?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense.
Dude, for a second I thought they were sending Clayton home. My one of my
Yeah,
picks
dude,
because
like,
they were focusing heavy on him though.
I know, man. It's disappointing.
So the following men, 3 men and 1 legend were eliminated. The 3 men, Pardeep, Daniel, and Alec, and the legend, Smooth PJ.
I like Danny too.
Yeah, I like Danny. I didn't have a problem with
I don't
Danny at all, but
understand. She doesn't like firemen, apparently.
PJ, man, we just thought he was cool. We thought he was cool from the preview. He was awesome in week 1. I'm saying it again. Hashtag PJ for paradise.
Yeah. I just don't know. I never heard him speak like that much. I'm judging him based off his appearance, which I really like.
Well, I mean, that's really it. We had a lot going on this week. I mean, from the news with Katie and Blake. Oh, real quick. Do you think Katie or Blake's a bachelor whore? I feel like he'll be back on Paradise.
He could still be on this season.
All those tweets. People tweeting in that Blake was going to roll up and be like, no, I'm definitely here for Michelle.
I really don't want him on Paradise. I can't stand him.
No, I can't either. It's crazy to say. How is that out of the like 3 or like main seasons we've covered that Matt James is the only one back in a stable relationship with the winner of his season? Nuts. Like, oh boy. I have a feeling that if Michelle picks one of the good guys, she'll stay with the guy. Again, she's not going to have some of these issues. I feel like that some of these other people are obviously having. Also, apparently, Katie Thurston did her first stand-up comedy showing and really bombed. Like, really stunk.
I mean, is she a comedian?
No, dude, but she's sex positive. It's funny.
You gotta be funny. Stand-up comedy.
Like we said before, please like and subscribe. We appreciate everyone that's been giving us awesome interactions, especially in the different Facebook groups. Twitter's been awesome during the live watches. We've talked about incorporating some other things, like maybe doing live Instagram or live Twitter. We'll look into something live for maybe the rose ceremonies for each week. I think that would be kind of a fun way to interact and have some live reactions of me and Brian. Like we've shown you, and we'll maybe always say, like, we have these texts literally going on like while these are things are, so like we decided to start tweeting out some of the things just to see, and we've got a lot of people interacting, which has been a lot of fun. Like we mentioned a few times, just a little bit of housekeeping to close out. I do get married this weekend. We will do our best. We should have Survivor tomorrow. And then next week, it's going to be a combination of Brian, Kevin, and maybe some guests. So you may not get The Bachelor out on Wednesday morning like we've had the first 2 weeks. It may be like Wednesday evening or maybe even Thursday morning. But when I do return, we will get those things back onto the schedule. But Survivor should still be on schedule since Kevin and Brian are both still here.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough to get Kev to watch the show live. So it's
no. And like I said, even guys like, I don't know even if Kristen watches live. It's hard to ask after that. I know Waleed's not able to watch live only because he's out in the West Coast, unless he's off on Tuesday. So I'll talk to him. You never know. But like I said, it could be hard for him as well. But like I said, no matter what, you will get this content, next week, the week after, when I'm still away. But like I said, we'll do our best, like I said, the next couple of weeks to get back onto that live schedule. Brian and I have been having a blast on the live watch nights. So
I love like checking the hashtag and see what other people are saying.
I think we'll even like soon enough, like not right away, but like even start doing that things with like Survivor and stuff like that. Even if we don't record right after the live watch the Survivor, I bet like that community would be awesome as well.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, for myself, Brian, Kevin, peace.